Welcome back to the Flippin' Ain't Easy channel. I hope you guys had a great holiday weekend, and I hope your sales were great as well. In this episode, I wanted to go over a return that I've spoke to you about in previous videos, and I wanted to answer some of your questions that you've posted on my previous videos. So without any further ado, let's go. So I hope you all have had a excellent Thanksgiving holiday. Whether you celebrated or not, hopefully you had a great Thursday and had a great weekend. And I hope your sales were as good as mine were. I had quite a few sales, and I'd say, well, it's not in line with the sales that I had last year. It's definitely a lot better than they were in September. And, we're just going to have to build off that and just keep posting and hope that hopefully these next 2 weeks really make a difference here. I think we have about 2, maybe 3 weeks in sales before things just start shutting down. Once you get close to the Christmas holiday, it's one of those things where sales come to a screeching halt, at least for me. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about a couple things. One is a return that I've been dealing with. Many of you have commented on previous videos of mine about a buyer by the name of Consult EK Sales. And just to give you a quick story, this person bought a katana sword. It's a Japanese collector's sword in a sheath. And when I sold the item, it had a crack in the sheath. And instead of selling it for $79, $80 like I was planning on doing, I listed it for, I believe it was $49.99, free shipping. And this person bought it about a few days after I listed it. And they contacted me and let me know that the crack was a little bit larger than what I had represented in my listing. I don't know how I can misrepresent a crack if I take a close-up photo of it. But nonetheless, they stated that they were able to try to get it fixed, but it's going to cost them like $20, $30, and they wanted me to give them $20. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to mess with the return, but I didn't want to give them $20 either. So I said, you know what, I can give you $10 back in all fairness, but that's the best I can do. And he came back saying, well, give me 15. We wanted to play the Poshmark game with me. And I'm not playing the Poshmark game with you. For those of you who don't really know Poshmark, it's where they try to lowball you and you give them a different offer and they try to meet you halfway. I'm not playing that game here. $10 in my mind was fair. I already discounted the item by $30 from what I would have normally sold it for because of the crack. But he came back at 15, and I said, you know what, just forget it, just return the item. So we went back and forth. He got nasty. He wanted the $10 now. And after about 3 or 4 emails of him being just indignant, I said, you know what, just send the item back. And I had contacted eBay, and they also recommended that as well. And that's when I came out with the video stating that I wasn't going to do any partial refunds anymore. It's just too much hassle. These people play games and they try to game the system. Well, after a while, I thought he went away. And wouldn't you know it, I think on the 29th day, this person opens up a return. And so I thought, and I had mentioned in a previous video, that I didn't think he was going to return the item. I believed he was doing this because he is a seller and he was going to just make my life miserable and difficult and withhold the money from my account, knowing that that's what would happen if he opened a return with no intentions on returning the item. Well, I received an email a few days later saying that he actually had shipped the item. And I received what looks to be sort of the right shape and the right size of the package. So what I want to do is I want to open up this return with you guys, and we can take a look and see if he altered the item or did anything to this. And I'll talk to you about how I plan on handling this as well. So Of course, I used poly bag, and it looks like he had provided his own poly bag, and it looks like he shipped it pretty much in the same packaging that I did and just kind of retaped it. That's fine. He is a seller, so like I mentioned, he knows the rules of the game. Now this is the actual packaging that was originally shipped in. I did bubble wrap the outside of this styrofoam container, but it really isn't necessary here. It's a knife. It's not going to break. It's definitely a sturdy item, but it's well protected in this styrofoam. It was created for this particular item. It looks like the styrofoam was beat up a little bit, and here is the item. Now, if we're looking at the crack, it definitely looks like it's a little bit, I don't know if you can see it here. It's right there, yeah. And so that's pretty much in line with the actual crack that I had noticed when I first received this item and put it up for sale. As you can see, this is the sheath part, and this is the knife part. And the katana is in really good condition. I don't see how, if he did anything, I don't see him doing anything to this product. It looks pretty good here. Like I said to him, I'll go ahead and give him a full refund, and I will relist this, and under the same terms as I did before. You know, it is an open box customer return item, and normally this thing sells for $133 on Amazon, brand new. Of course, it's not brand new. You know, he had mentioned that this can be fixed, and I believe it can. It looks like it's separating a little bit. I don't know. I don't think he would have done this. If he's going to do something to this product, he probably would have done something way more than, you know, make the crack bigger. So he's going to get a full refund as promised. And I just wanted you to see a return and basically how I handle that return, because, you know, we get a lot of returns, and sometimes these customers like to play games. I don't really understand what his motivation was. I spent about 10, 11 bucks to have this thing shipped back. And, you know, like I said, my initial thought was to just spare myself the return, spare myself the hassle, refund him the $10. Because of his behavior, though, it really turned me off of the idea of even offering that. And as I said before, partial refunds to me is something that I will not offer my customer unless I've done something really egregious. Let's say I've sold something and I forgot to include a cable, and I can verify this. Something that I did wrong that would cause the customer to be unhappy. Of course, I wouldn't be happy if I bought something and it wasn't complete. So on a case-by-case basis, but for the most part, my rule is no partial refunds. If you're not happy with the item, return it, and we'll go ahead and work out a refund for you, provided that you send it back, everything back, in the same condition that it was shipped in. Now, my only imagination here is that you know, maybe the crack got a little bit bigger with just the shipping and route, because there is some movement within that packaging that the knife can move around a little bit. You know, and I'm not going to hold that against the customer. But again, I'm not going to play their games either. So wanted to give you an update on that. What I want to do today also is I wanted to go over your comments from previous videos and try to answer some questions. But before I move on to that, please do me a favor, hit that like button. Just go ahead and go crazy on it. Smash that like button. While you're at it, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell icon so that you can be notified whenever I make a new video. And again, I make a video usually Monday mornings. I'll have a video, or Monday early afternoon, and middle late week I'll also put out another video. and again, if there's any content that you guys want me to cover, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll be glad to do my best to make a video for you on that. So I want to answer your questions from my previous videos. Now, my last video was entitled eBay Refund Tool and Processing Returns, and I'll put that here for you if you want to take a look at it. But in that particular video, I talked to you guys about the eBay Refund Tool and the ins and outs of processing a return. December, early January is a month where you're going to get a lot of return requests because this is the holiday season. People are exchanging gifts at Christmas time, and they may, find that the item isn't quite what they expected, or there's a problem with it. And while you might sell a lot of items right now and your returns might be low, that's because you're selling gifts, and the item, whether it's defective or if the item is, there's a problem with the item, that customer won't realize it until that gift has been opened on Christmas Day. So just don't be surprised if you get inundated with return requests after the 25th of December. It happens every year. So this particular video that I came out with last Monday, I have a question from Kinetics, and this person wrote, "Perfect timing for this video. I'm dealing with a return right now where the buyer claims that a new sealed in-box name brand laser toner cartridge is supposedly leaking and leaving streaks on paper. I'm suspecting that the buyer is trying to get a free laser toner replacement, waiting on getting the package. I will then have the cartridge tested at our local print shop. Truthfully, I hope that I'm wrong, getting a bit tired of these never-ending eBay scammers. Obviously, I couldn't test the toner cartridge prior to the sale without breaking open the package." So that particular situation, when you're dealing with ink cartridges in general, 99.9% of the time, if you have a sealed box with a toner cartridge inside, and even if it's not a sealed box, but the actual toner cartridge is in the sealed pack, that usually is, toner cartridges are usually sealed in a package or like a metallic pouch, and if that's sealed 99.9% of the time, you're not going to have an issue with that unless that customer is doing what we call the classic swap out. And in this case, this particular eBayer is suspecting that's probably what's happening. What a lot of sellers do with ink toner cartridges is they actually weigh the package before they ship it. And of course, you weigh it because you're going to ship it out, but the actual package without the shipment packaging on it to get a measurement. If you receive that item back and the actual toner cartridge is a lighter weight, that's a good indication that you're receiving an item that has been used, where the toner has been used or swapped, or the actual toner cartridge has been swapped out. And so you'll notice that some of these toner cartridge sellers on eBay will actually put in their listing the weight of the toner cartridge, and any returns, that toner cartridge has to be and meet that same weight. Otherwise, it's a swap out. It'll be considered as a swap out, and they're going to use that refund tool to give a 50% refund, which is the maximum that we're allowed to deduct as sellers. On the same video, Crazy New York Driver wrote, "Hello, John. I have used the partial deduction option refund tool in the past because a buyer bought the wrong size hubcaps and damaged one of them trying to force it in. I deducted 25%, and eBay told me I would have to wait for the buyer to accept the partial refund, which of course he never did. After about 2 weeks or even a little longer, eBay finally closed the case in my favor. I am not sure why they would not automatically close these cases when we issue partial refunds, if we are indeed top-rated sellers with proven track records." So Joe from the Crazy New York Driver channel, those of you who haven't watched his videos, I'll leave a link there. You can click on his link. Don't do it until after the video. Finish this video first. But in this particular situation, he sold an item. There was nothing wrong with the item. The buyer bought the wrong item in itself, and they tried to force it in on the actual wheel, the hubcap onto the wheel, and they sent it back. And he deducted a 25. I don't know, Joe, if that's a 25% restocking fee that you're charging, or if they damaged the item. I don't see that you mentioned anything about it being damaged here, but generally we can't charge stocking fees as much as I'd like to sometimes charge a stocking fee. In the case of this particular situation with this katana, this person knew it was an item with a defect in it, and of course they didn't like the defect. It wasn't up to their standards, so they sent it back, and I'd love to charge a stocking fee on that. But if they damage the item, or if the item is returned without all the parts that you sent to them, you can deduct up to 50% with the refund tool that's provided to you, provided you're a top-rated seller that offers 30-day returns, or any other rated seller that offers free 30-day returns, as I mentioned in that video. And so, you know, there's a lot of scammers on eBay, and it's unfortunate that eBay doesn't take a look at our track record as sellers. We have perfect feedback. You know, we have hundreds and even thousands of positive transactions. I think that eBay should invest a little bit of trust in their sellers, and allow us the leeway. In this case, they made Joe wait 2 weeks for a return on his money when he deducted that 25%. And unfortunately, the way eBay has it set up is you deduct any amount off of that refund, they notify the customer, and that customer probably won't ever look at that message, won't even know they have that message to respond to, and eBay waits 10 days, 10 business days before they'll actually put that money back into your account. And it's a shame that they punish sellers for following their own policy and utilizing the tool that they gave us to use for these kind of situations. So, Joe, I feel your pain. It happens to all of us, and it's just, I'll use eBay's line to you here. It's the cost of doing business. I know that's going to irritate you, like it irritates a lot of us, but unfortunately, this is the game we are playing, and it's eBay's rules, and if we want to play the game, we have to play by those rules. Wish I had a better answer for you on that. My next question comes from Farm Girl Scavenger Noel, and she writes, I just dealt with this last night. I reported the buyer and then did the return, and I had no problem with the return, which I only gave a 50% return. This buyer returned a full PlayStation system in a box large enough for 4 of them, with a dirty, stinky, nasty Long John top thrown in. Can we say just freaking gross? Especially considering the pandemic we're in right now. By the way, I'm a top-rated power seller with an anchor store and concierge, and I'm in managed payments. Have a happy holiday and stay safe. Well, happy holiday to you, Noel. I can top that. I had a return, as many of you who've watched my older videos, I think about maybe 5-6 months ago, I had someone who sent back a dustbuster, and they sent it back in a diaper box. It actually was a diaper wipe box, and the bubble wrap, they had reused the bubble wrap that I had used for the packaging, and it had brown, like a sticky brown residue on the box and on the bubble wrap. And it could have been anything. Could have been chocolate frosting, could have been compliments of their baby. So that was quite gross, and and I don't know what to say. People just don't have a whole lot of class sometimes. Needless to say, I didn't give them a full refund. I utilized the refund tool, and I didn't give them a full refund at all. On one of my more popular videos, entitled Making the Switch from PayPal to eBay's Managed Payment System, I have a couple comments that I like to read from that video that received recently. First one is from Laura Evans. It reads, "I'm confused. We won't be able to pay for discounted shipping on PayPal any longer, question mark." Well, that is correct. From my understanding is PayPal, being that it's not linked to your eBay account anymore, once you switched over to managed payments, it won't allow you to run labels through them. Now, I never ran labels through the PayPal system, but because there's that disconnect, your seller account is no longer linked to your PayPal account. I can't imagine that working. If anyone's able to make that work, once you switched over from managed payments from PayPal and are still able to run PayPal labels, please leave that information down below. But as far as I'm concerned, and from what I know, is that you cannot do that. You run the labels either through eBay, or you can use a site like Pirate Ship to run your own shipping labels and upload the tracking information to eBay. So hopefully that answers your question. And if it didn't, please someone help me out and answer that question down below. And the last remark I'm going to read on the same video is by AC1023, and it reads, "I just sold something. It's making me wait 21 days until I'm able to receive my money, and I didn't put any info in the system eBay is doing. This is the first time this has happened to me. Is there anything I can do to get the money now?" Now, this is a little different than Joe's situation. It sounds to me that they sold an item during the time they were supposed to switch over to managed payments, and eBay is sort of holding on to that money. And it sounds to me that eBay is actually waiting to make sure that that item has been delivered before they're willing to give that seller the money. To answer your question, the only way in my mind that you're going to be able to get your money any faster than what eBay is telling you is to make the switch from PayPal to managed payments. And what that'll do is, once they get you set up, which shouldn't take but a day or two, then that money will be placed in your pending balance. And once that payment clears, whether it's a credit card, debit card, or maybe even a PayPal payment, once that money clears into eBay, you'll have that money sent to your bank account. I know a lot of you, and a lot of questions I've received on this particular video, and a lot of concerns that people have, that they are being asked to give their social security number, and they're asked to provide a bank account number. And again, these are things that are not optional, and we're playing by eBay's rules. This is their payment system. It's really not up for discussion. eBay is not giving exemptions right now for this. If you are asked to switch over from PayPal to managed payments, you will be required to do so. And if you don't provide this information, then you won't be able to sell on their platform, and payments will be put on hold like this. So I'm not going to tell you what you should do, but I can tell you from my experience, I've been dealing with managed payments since September of last year. I have not had one issue with managed payments. Everything's fine. My transfers have been timely. I have mine set to daily, and it works for me. And while it's not the same as being able to, accumulate a balance on PayPal and to get your money right away, that's another pet peeve that people have, is, that PayPal would give you your money right away, whereas managed payments doesn't. And again, if you read the comments and the answers of the comments that I've posted on that particular video, the difference between eBay and PayPal is PayPal was fronting the money to your account the whole time, and they were allowing or waiting for the payment to clear from the customer's bank. Because they're more of a financial institution, they have the means to front the money to you, whereas eBay currently is not considering themselves as a financial institution, and they don't have the means or the wherewithal to front you the money while that payment clears. And so that's the difference between the two. Maybe something will change in the future, but I highly doubt it. Unfortunately, eBay doesn't tend to make changes to their system to benefit a seller unless somehow they can benefit with a fee or something like that. Maybe they'll come up with some kind of a deal where you get your money faster if you are willing to give them an extra 1% off the sale, and they'll front your money right away. I wouldn't hold it past them, but I got to tell you, I can wait a couple days. Some people can't, but I can wait a couple days, and I'm not giving eBay another dime, even if they were able to come up with something like that. So that's my video for today. I want to say thank you to all of you who've stuck with me this long. It's about 30 minutes into this video. And, guys, get out there. Keep listing. This is the time. You got to keep making that push. Keep listing as much as you can. Make those sales. Use your best offer. Do the best you can to move your merchandise. And let's just make a lot of money, guys. This is the time we have to really make that push. So I'm going to sign off, and I just want to thank you, and just know one thing, that flipping ain't easy.